All right, good morning. Greetings from South Georgia. I'm looking directly into the sun, so I may close my eyes a little bit. Today is June the 18th, 2024. We're out here hitting golf balls, and you might say giving advice about hitting golf balls, and also giving advice about life, the meaning of life. And I always try to come up with an analogy or a parallel with the things that we do, which parallels the meaning of life. There are two different theories or methods of teaching the golf swing, and you'll see it if you look at enough videos out there. One idea is that you manipulate your swing. That is, you try to make this happen, and make different things happen. You try to control the swing. The other school of thought is that you just swing the club. It is a swing. It is a well-known idea that the practice swing is usually a correct swing. When Bobby Jones was playing with his father made a rather bad shot and was peeved with himself. And he did a practice swing, and he asked his son, Bobby, what's wrong with that? And Bobby said, there's nothing wrong with that. Why don't you use it sometime? So that was a way of saying that when his father stepped up to the ball, he did not use his natural swing. He began to manipulate his swing and try to do this, all of this, rather than the natural swing. I prescribe myself to the idea that the natural swing is best. The natural swing is going to be a correct use of the golf club. The problem is that when you put that ball down there, all of that goes out the window unless you understand that the ball changes your mindset. The natural swing, so your job is to step up to the ball in such a manner that the natural swing will encounter the ball rather than the swing that you manipulate your swing to encounter the ball. Now, if you had the ball way up there, your natural swing is not going to hardly reach it. I touched it, but I couldn't hit it. I'll get it a little farther up. If you're going to hit the ball way up there, you're going to have to do something to manipulate. The swing is back here. Natural swing. So you need to put the ball in the way of your natural swing. And you want to put it in the way in such a way that the natural swing will slightly hit down on the ball. So since the arc of your swing would be right in the middle, if you have your ball slightly back of middle, it will naturally hit down on the ball. You don't try to hit down on the ball. Your natural arc is going that way already. So there's the middle. I step forward just a little now, and my natural swing will come down on the ball if I don't let my mind get in the way. Natural swing. And you couldn't have hit a better shot. Okay, Now, how does that relate to life? You are what you are. You walk the way that you walk. This is the way I walk. You run the way that you run. You think the way that you think. You honestly, you go at life the way that you go at it. For instance, a good student does not make himself into a good student or herself. They're good students. That's how they are. It's in them. The artist, it's in them. They find out by living their life, hey, I'm pretty good at this. But they didn't make themselves do it. So we are what we are. So if you want to have fun with the golf, you have to realize you are what you are. Now, the more you do it correctly, the more your muscles become trained to do what you naturally do. If you are a carpenter and you use a hammer, the more you do it your way, the stronger you'll get and the more accurate that you'll get. So giving somebody instruction on how to hit a nail with a hammer would be counterproductive, because then they'll be thinking about this rather than the job at hand. The job at hand with this golf ball is to use your natural, that's why they do a practice swing, to remind themselves you shouldn't be thinking about anything. It's all natural. Let me get a little closer. And of course I don't hit it as well when I'm here on video, because in spite of my desire to do my natural swing, because I'm being watched, I mess up a little bit. I hit the ball straight, but I hit it a little thin. But you're gonna not always make perfect shots. You don't manipulate it, it's a swing. Now that was picture perfect. How does that relate to spiritual matters? Honestly, the Bible teaches that we were foreordained to either believe in God or not. I don't know how that is. Just like I don't know how I swing a golf club. I just know that when I'm not pressured with having to hit a ball, my practice swing probably is always better than the actual thing when I have to hit. So we spend our lives not living who we are because we are taught that we need to be this or be that. To get to the point, either you belong to Jesus or you don't. Jesus clearly said that. I chose you, you didn't choose me. However, there are those out there that do belong to Jesus that don't actually realize it at this time. They will eventually realize it, and he will eventually claim them as his brothers. So rather than, if you say, I don't believe in Jesus, that's one thing. That could mean you don't believe it at this time because you haven't asked the right questions about it. rather than I don't believe in Jesus, I'll suggest a couple of other questions. Do you believe that Jesus was a lunatic? That's a yes or no question. If you find it hard to say that, then you may believe in him, because the things that Jesus did were crazy if he wasn't God. If a man walks up and says, I and the Father are one, or says, before Abraham was, I am, unless he's got some real good backup for it, you're going to think he's had a mental breakdown or he's crazy. Now, Jesus said those things, but he was backing it up by tangible, amazing miracles. And at this time, there were those that said that he was crazy. But others looked at the miracles and they said, these aren't the words or the actions of a crazy man. This guy must be the Messiah, the Son of God, the divine Son of God. I'm suggesting, ask yourself, do you believe Jesus was a lunatic? If you have trouble saying yes, that's a good start for you, that you may believe in him. And if he was not a lunatic, then what was he? A man that claims that he was existent before one of his ancestors. If he wasn't, then he's lost it. Was Jesus a lunatic, or was he indeed the Messiah, the promised Son of Man that was God in the flesh? Be yourself. Be happy with what God made you. You're what God made you. It's your physical self, your mental self, and your beliefs. But sometimes they don't come out until a certain time that you've had time to reflect. I think it's a pretty bad thing to deny Jesus, to say I don't know exactly, but I'm not going to say he was a lunatic. You can say, I don't know who he was, but I can't see him as a madman. Why would a great deal of the world be following him as Christians if he was a madman? Is it a delusion, a mass delusion? That doesn't make sense. Why do so many people say that they see something that you can't see? If you belong to him, he's gonna get you one way or another. You belong to him. Be happy with what you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to swing the golf club like Rory McIlroy or Bryson DeChambeau. Don't try to be 6 feet tall when you're 5'4½". Don't try to be anything that you're not. That's where happiness is in this life, is being satisfied with what God gave you. You know, everybody has a different set of fingerprints. That's proof right there that God made everybody individually. Everybody has what God gave them, and it's for the reason, and you know not why he made you what he made you. All right, we're going to hit one more with the natural swing. It just goes back and it comes down. You let the body react to the downswing. The body doesn't create the downswing. It's going to do it and it's going to do it perfectly. The swing is a natural thing. Beautiful shot. All right, be yourself. That's where happiness is. Accept what God's made you. Accept where He's put you and made you. Seek the kingdom of heaven, and all things will be added that you need on this earth. That's the promise of Jesus. All right, now we're going to turn around here and look out there at some of our little friends that are wondering why we haven't given them any corn. And we're going to recite the Lord's Prayer. And I would like that you out there in the world would recite it with us. All right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.